Welcome back, Troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. Welcome to the Darksyde. Today we're going to talk about two Les Paul customs that are nicknamed the Darksyde. So this one showed up on Reverb about a week ago, and it just, took my breath away because first off, it's a stunning quilt top, but also this Darksyde finish is amazing. Because it's kind of hard to tell what it is. It's like a translucent black, but yet there's a little bit of pink in there. It just reminds me of like a smoke cloud billowing out of a burning building. And according to the seller, Wild Guitars on Reverb.com, it was one of a kind, only one worldwide. But then later on this week, this is the whole reason why I decided to do this video. Gibson Les Paul Custom Shop Darksyde. See, I thought somebody bought that guitar and they were flipping it or something, but at $5,200 right there and $62.99 right there, yeah, that kind of ruled out that opportunity, and the tops are completely different. So it appears the custom shop is doing a new finish called Darksyde, which is, kind of what you're seeing here. But let's go ahead and take a look at the original one that first showed up on Reverb. So besides the finish, it's just got a nice two-piece quilted maple top. It seems to be book matched pretty alright. You see it kinda lines up right here, so that's pretty good. But it just reminds me once again of that smoke. It's not like a heavily quilt top. It's not like a flamey like quilt top. It just has this really bulbous figuring to it. So it's kind of cool in that aspect. But on closer look, you can see that the edges of this instrument are gray. Now, Gibson doesn't put colored binding on guitars. It's usually the finish over top of it that has been sprayed a different color. That was popularly used in the Widow series, and I've documented many of those, from blue to purple to the original Black Widow, which is technically red. So besides that really cool characteristic that really outlines the Darksyde finish, we have all black hardware. But I love it when they do this. They leave the pole pieces a different color. That looks like chrome or nickel to me, and that matches the fret wire, and that is just a beautiful sight to see. It kind of breaks up the monotony, but makes it special at the same time. Because then your black hardware is matching your blackish gray binding. Everything's just working on this. It's got symmetry. I wish they would have done something a little bit more special on the speed knobs, like maybe make the numbers a dark gray color to match the rest of the guitar. But you'll also notice from this photo, not only do you get the lift and reissue custom shop case, but that is not a full-sized Les Paul custom. It's built to Les Paul Axcess specs, so you have the all-access heel joint, and you have what appears to be a super belly cut right there. Like, that seems deeper than usual, but I'm sure it's just an optical illusion caused by the light. And you're going to notice, Wild Guitars, we just recently talked about another one of his on a WYRON episode. He actually reached out. Apparently his idea of selling guitars is he lists them on Reverb for a day, and he only sells them on his Instagram page, something like that. So even though this listing says it's ended, if you really want it, I believe you can still buy it. But other than the added comfort features here, it's just your regular stuff. You got your toggle switch cavity right here, as well as your control plate for the electronics. But here's where things get additionally interesting. So apparently the modern day Les Paul Axcesses still get the Apex head carved volute, which I love that Gibson has left that on there because it's just kind of a quirky little spec. I love volutes, even if it's this modern one that's slightly Martin in style. But my goodness, I would hate to own this guitar because black backs, they show all the scratches, they show all the fingerprints. You'd constantly be wiping this one down. The seller says it has the 496R in the neck and a 498T in the bridge, and this does have a traditional ebony fretboard paired with that maple top and the mahogany back. But take a look up here at this headstock. We've got black tuners, but it also has the gray widow effect up here. You've got the gray lacquer spread over top of that. So it's just kind of a nice dark looking guitar, and it's got a really interesting top and finish to it. Some people might say, hey, why didn't we go all out and give it like black inlays or something? Gibson does that occasionally. Let's take a look on the other Darksyde. Immediately we can see some differences here. It still has like the gray widow effect going on for the binding, but we have reflector knobs. So instead of speed knobs, somebody went for this style, which I think definitely pops this guitar to say the least. And this one has more of an extreme quilt top. Once again, not completely book match, but it has an interesting vibe to it. It kind of reminds me of like a PRS private stock. But this one has a Nashville style bridge, curiously enough with slotted bridge posts. I haven't seen that before. Not on a custom shop Gibson anyways. But the rest of this seems about the same until we get to the fretboard. That's when you can see they did the black mother of pearl inlays here. And to be honest with you, I think this might be one of the first models that Gibson has offered that has the black mother of pearl inlays on an ebony fretboard. Because when they started doing this, like on the Blackout Custom and things like I reviewed in demo, it was a Richlight board. So seeing all the wood grain right here with those black inlays, that makes me happy. But moving on to the back side of this one, it's a regular Les Paul Custom. So it's a full width body, you now have binding on the back, you don't have any of the Axcess heel comforts, there's no belly cut, but your back plates are still the same. But now get this, this is why this one is infinitely cooler. Take a look at that neck. 3-piece flamed maple, I love this thing. Yeah, we lost the volute, oh well. I will gladly sacrifice the volute to have a neck like this. That looks awesome in that black staining. So not only is it flamed, it's maple, so that's a big difference compared to the other one that had the mahogany neck. So this one is more of a custom shop custom. And don't click off the video just yet, there is one more surprise to this one. The headstock. Okay, so first off, we have a figured maple veneer over it, so that is cool that you have flame on the headstock, and you also have the Grey Widow effect over the Gibson logo, but you're gonna notice something. Something is wrong here, and I'm ashamed to admit I didn't realize it until I just looked at this. The certificate of authenticity says Les Paul Custom F, meaning a figured top. This is clearly built to Les Paul Custom specs. The front is bound, the back is bound, but it has a standard headstock. I don't know if I agree with this spec now that I see it. It's like, why? You would want the custom headstock because then you get the cool emblem up here. But having the figured maple veneer is a cool touch over the black holly veneer. So I'd love to see that on a custom version of this guitar. And it looks like this one's a little bit more traditional with 57 classic pickups. And hey, this one actually has a long neck tenon. So these are just kind of interesting guitars. They're definitely not the cheapest guitars out there, but hey, it's a custom shop Gibson. So this one is offered for sale by Christian's Gear Depot. He's asking $5,200 for it. It would be a really tough choice between these two, especially now that I know that this one has the standard headstock. I guess that's a quirky feature that makes me like it too. But something about the top on this one is just so mysterious. I might have to choose that one if I had to choose between the two. But if you don't quite have the budget for one of these custom shops, there's also a Gibson USA limited run done by Guitar Center called the Les Paul Dark Knight. It also has the quilt top with all the black hardware. It has the speed knobs of the first one, but the flame maple neck of the second one, and is built to regular Les Paul standard specs, so you don't have any of the Axcess stuff on this one either. It also has the black standard inlays, as well as the grayed over Gibson Les Paul logo. You can find those for $2,999 new, but hey, if you're looking for a deal on one of those or any other new guitar that you're looking for, I can definitely help you out with that. More details on my website. So for our playing demo today, we're gonna head on over to a musician's friend video where they played a Les Paul that looked very similar to these guys. The only question left, would you rock the Darksyde Les Paul or not? Leave your answer down in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you tomorrow on the next episode. Take care.